Good evening. My name is Suzanne Beckstoffer, and I am a 1982 civil engineering graduate of NC State, and I am the Director of Research and Development at Newport Shipbuilding. I'm also an NC State supporter, and I know all of you guys already get it, but tonight I want to tell you specifically why I'm convinced that the endowment cause is a great one. Last year in 2010, my husband Hank, who is a Virginia Tech graduate, by the way, he and I decided to begin endowing an engineering scholarship here at NC State. We named it the McGee Harrelson Beckstoffer Scholarship, and that's a lot of name for a startup, so I want to tell you why. My dad, Jim McGee, took some graduate courses here at NC State back in the 1960s. He likes to gloat that he maintained a 4.0 grade point average, unlike his offspring. So that's my dad. Harrelson is my mother's maiden name. So that crazy round building was actually named for my grandpa's cousin. And several Harrelson relatives are also alumni. My Beckstoffer husband, my brother-in-law, my brother, and a couple more cousins and I are all engineers. So I guess it kind of runs in the family. There's several reasons why I support NC State engineering scholarships. The first one is teachers. First, I support education because I come from a pair of retired educators, a college professor and an elementary school teacher who taught me to respect excellence in education. And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir tonight about NC State's exceptional, forward-moving, and multifaceted educational experience. This university prepares students for a future workplace that will be vastly different from today's. And let me tell you a quick teacher story. The true reason I'm in the engineering profession is because of Ms. Baldwin, my 10th grade math teacher. Ms. Baldwin was the meanest old woman who ever lived. She was about 112 years old when I had her, but she truly did care about her students. When I was 15, she took her own time to drive another girl and me to NC State for a weekend workshop on engineering careers for women. I took one look at the water lab in the civil engineering building, and I was hooked. April, almost 3 years ago, it occurred to me that I had never really thanked Ms. Baldwin. And I calculated that she must be about 140 years old by then, so it was about time that I did it. So I Googled her address at a retirement community in my hometown, and I sent her a little thank you letter, thanking her for her influence as a teacher and for steering me into this rewarding career. And surprisingly, she actually remembered me and sent back a nice newsy letter. About 3 months later, I got a call from my mom who said, "What did you do to Ms. Baldwin? I had 4 phone calls today." As it turns out, Ms. Baldwin had died. She was 96 years old, not 140. And they read my letter at her funeral. So, to all of you fine teachers and professors and other educators out there, and to you, Ms. Baldwin, wherever you are, thank you for inspiring and guiding these precious students. And number 2, I was a scholarship recipient myself. Way back in 1978, as a high school senior, I was selected to be a John T. Caldwell Scholar, one of 2 in the second year that those scholarships were awarded. This was a huge deal for my family and for me. As I recall, the scholarship was $1,000 my freshman year and accelerated all the way up to $3,500 by my senior year. And accounting for inflation, that was still a lot of money. Pretty much covered my tuition, books, and room and board. And college is even more expensive now. It's daunting and sometimes impossible for a family to shell out that much money. It's even scarier if you're an ambitious young person who knows the value of an education, but has to take on tens of thousands of dollars in debt to secure that education on your own. I've been working since I was 16, and I know it's tough to handle both work and school, not to mention mortgaging your future with debt. So when the opportunity came up to pay forward my scholarship experience for somebody else, there really was no question. It's the right thing to do, give back to the school, and help some bright young person start a career. And number 3, this country needs technical people and engineers. You've probably seen the statistics about how many engineers in China and India are producing, compared to the relatively few here in the United States. New engineers will be an asset to the community where I live and enable our standard of living for the future. I don't have kids of my own, but I do know that our young people are the leaders of tomorrow, and the right education nurtures good leaders and good productive citizens. From a personal standpoint, in my job, I need to hire clever technical people to design, plan, and construct our nation's aircraft carriers, submarines, and power and energy projects. NC State is a key resource for our recruiters to find qualified, smart engineers to help protect our national interests and security. When a crisis like the ones in Libya or Japan arises, and the president asks, "Where are the carriers?" it always gives me a jolt of pride to know that I had a hand in constructing one of those aircraft carriers. We refer to those as 90,000 tons of diplomacy. We will need more smart young men and women to keep finding efficient ways to improve our standard of living, protect freedom, and invent the next important new technology. This country's infrastructure, technical advancements in energy, consumer products, transportation, and materials all offer tremendous opportunities to engineers and entrepreneurs. And finally, in addition to a monetary contribution, I'm hooked emotionally by my home department. Not being the next Bill Gates, Hank and I are not wealthy people, but we also find ways to contribute through our time and involvement. And I highly recommend that hands-on involvement to all of you out there. Dr. Barlas in the Civil Engineering and Construction Engineering Department has an industry advisory board, which provides him, for the price of some donuts, coffee, and an occasional dinner, a panel of business leaders who advise him on strategic issues like curriculum, accreditation, graduate hiring trends, and industry needs. He in turn keeps the group advised of new programs, professorships, technical advancements, and student activities. We make a powerful team, and we have a lot of fun doing so. I'm privileged to also serve as the Industry Advisory Board student liaison, working with the chairs of the student professional organizations. What a great way to find out what's going on campus. These students are way smarter than I was at their tender age, and they have terrific ideas on how to change the world for the better. They have a global perspective and see past borders to opportunity. They're open to partnerships and have abounding interest in making a positive contribution. So if you have the time and the talents to spare, I challenge you to offer them. Pick your degree department or pick something new that interests you. The personal rewards are great, and I guarantee you'll have a smile on your face every time you visit campus. And last but certainly not least, thank you. Your commitment to NC State ensures our ability to prepare students to succeed in life, to navigate the future workplace, and to serve their communities to the benefit of others. A gift to NC State is a powerful legacy that will grow as our students do. Thank you very much. Go Wolfpack.